I'm going to be ranking AI users business owner edition. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly where you are and what type of user you are, and more importantly, where you need to be so you can be an expert at AI so you can implement it into your business to help you grow and scale faster than your competition. Now, first off, level one, Newb. Okay, this Newb is somebody who is using ChatGPT or Claude or any of these AI models to basically just ask it questions to, hey, what's going on in the world right now? Doing internet research. It's a glorified Google search for you, right? Where you're going in, or maybe you're even using it to write you emails and then you're copying and pasting it and dropping it in the email, or you're helping you plan things and all this kind of thing. Now, the problem with that is that that is like 20% of AI, maybe. I would say there's probably 10%, where you're basically wasting money on a subscription every single month by using AI in that direction. Like, you could use ChatGPT for free and just get that use case, or you can honestly just go to Google and use our Google AI Gemini, which is totally free, by the way, and you'll get the same outputs, right? But you cannot use your business like this because it does not give you the quality of outputs that you're looking for. You're only using 10% of AI. Now, level two, which is sweat, is somebody who is connecting their apps into ChatGPT or Claude. So now, instead of you just asking Claude questions or ChatGPT questions, now you're actually giving it connections to your tools, to where now ChatGPT or Claude, it could go into your emails. It could read your emails, help you draft emails, send emails. It could go into, say, your Go High Level CRM. It could see what kind of leads you have in the pipeline, all of these kind of things. But you're still super basic, to where you figured out how to connect this stuff, but you're still kind of asking it questions, and you're not really getting the full use case out of what AI is. I would say this is about your 40% of the way there with tools. And if you don't know how to connect tools, I've got a full community where I break down how to become a Claude Power user, so that link is in the description. But like, if you went into Claude, you could simply just go into Customize, and you will find all of the apps that you need to connect to into here. So you see, like, I have hundreds of apps that I have Claude and ChatGPT use on a daily basis to help me inside of my business, right? So my Airtable CRM, I help it make carousels in Canva or Figma maps, my Google Calendar, it manages my Gmail, all of these things, right? So then I would say level three, which is demon level, which is, you can clearly see the theme of the Roblox here, is projects plus app connections. So what a project is basically, it's almost like giving a brain to a AI that knows your business inside and out. If you don't know what specifically projects are, if you go into projects in your Claude, you can actually see and create new projects where, let's say if I create a dummy one here, you can drop in files in your business. So let's say, for example, that you've got your brand guides, your voice guides, your scripting guide, maybe your avatar guide, your marketing messages, your sales scripts, everything. So you can actually drop all of this in here. Then what happens is this simple chatbot that you've been using it as now turns into a high-level chatbot that actually understands your business. So an example of this is, if I were to go just to Claude Chat and I was like, hey, like, what do I do for business? What it's going to do is it's going to search its memory that it has, because all of these AI models, they take data on you of what the questions that you ask. So it has a memory of some sort. The problem is it's very limited. It's not very good. It forgets things. And eventually you use it so much that it only remembers important information. So it doesn't really know as much about you that it needs to know. So when you're using projects, it has its own memory inside the project, right? Then it's got all the files on your business. So when you go to ask it questions, so if I do the same question, which is like, what is my business? Now it's going to go into its memory. it's going to go into his file system to read all your files that you've dropped in there so it can get specific information. And then on top of that, it also has custom instructions where you can say, hey, you are a email newsletter writer, and here are all the files on my avatar guide, brand guide. Here's how I talk. Here's our best performing newsletters. I want you to help me write new newsletters moving forward. So then every time you talk to this thing, it's almost like an employee of some sort where it is going in, reading those instructions, it's reading all the files and looking into its memory to give you the best possible outputs. So now you're getting away from like these generic kind of bad, crappy outputs to now you're getting like really good you're just getting good outputs. You're getting what you're looking for, right? The more data that you give it and you tell it how to give you outputs, the better information, the better outputs that you're going to get. It's pretty simple. Okay. Then, so that's level 3. That's level B. Okay. Now you're about 60 to 70% of the way there. Like from that alone, like you are better than 99% of the people, AI users right now. Like a lot of people that I run into that join my community and work with us, like they are coming in as users that are using like at level 1 Newb or level 2 Sweat, which is like, they've figured out how to connect their apps because it's like an easy button to click, or like, and they're just using it to just search things on Google. That's really it. So you're getting there. But how you go to level 4, right, which is Sigma, I hate my team for making me do this. Level 4 Sigma is where you start using skills and automations. Okay, so if you don't know what a Claude skill is, a Claude skill, and this works for GPT Codex as well, but what skills are like mini workflows that AI pulls off. So if I were to, let's say if I pulled up some of my Claude skills inside, and they may not be inside of my specific desktop because I use Claude Code, but like, let's say for example, I've got some skills here. This skill, I've built a content manager, which is like basically a agent that is a skill, and a skill that works through a certain workflow. So I tell it how to act, I tell it how to talk, but more importantly, I give it a step-by-step workflow. So a great example of this would also be Skill Creator, right? Skill Creator, this comes with every single Claude instance. So like if you have Claude on your machine, you have access to this, but it basically walks through. So it's like every time I'm like, hey, I want to create a skill, where I mention skill and I want to create one, it knows, okay, it reads the description of the skill and it goes, oh, okay, he wants to create a new skill. I'm going to call this skill creator, and then it's going to go through a step-by-step workflow. So step 1, it's going to spawn all runs. Then step 2, it's going to, while it runs, it's going to draft assertions and so on and so forth. But you see what I'm saying? Like it's starting to build workflow. So a great example for you is like, let's say you wanted to build a personal assistant like I did, right? I want this personal assistant every morning to basically go in, read my inbox. I want it to read my calendar, and I want to find the latest news and give me a full brief and draft my emails. That is a step-by-step workflow. And then on top of that, it's got access to my Gmail, and it's got access to my Google Calendar, right? So now I have basically an AI employee, essentially, that is working inside of my business, right? That I can talk to, that it knows most things about me. And like, let's say you can use these inside of projects, so it can work inside. It knows everything about my business. It has all the files. It has all my apps. And now it's just completing workflows for me. So now instead of doing a task that took me 60 minutes long, I'm condensing that into 10 minutes. But on top of that, I'm not doing it. He's doing it. We'll call it he, but Claude is doing it for me while I'm working on other things, okay? So that's level 4. If you are building Claude skills in Claude Desktop right now, or you're using Claude Cowork and you're building skills, like you're 90% above the rest. Like you're killing it. You are doing a great job. You're almost there on the full capabilities of using Claude. Now, the final part is level 5, which is the divine creator Claude AI user, which is somebody who is using agents within Claude Code or Codex. So if you don't know what Claude Code or Codex is, it's basically, it was coined as like a coding model. I think people get really like scared that it's like, oh, it's code. Like, I don't know how to code. I'm not like a tech genius. Like, I'm not either. Like, you don't have to be able to code to be able to get the full use cases out of these tools. And why using Claude Code and Codex is way better than using Claude Projects, using Claude Desktop, any other AI model, is that it lives in your computer. So it works inside of a file system. So basically, you see how like we had our projects here, where if I go back and we go into our projects, you'll notice that I've got, right, inside of here, you put files, instructions, memories, and then you're connected to all your apps. You can even do skills, right? Like you have everything in here. The problem is you have to come back in and you have to edit this information manually. So you all, like, let's say you pivot your business, or let's say you change your avatar, or whatever. You would have to manually come in and fix this. What Claude Code and Codex would do is it lives inside your file system on your computer. So we can go and manually update those things for you. So if you talk to Claude Code and you're like, hey, we're pivoting, we're changing avatars, I need to update my avatar guide. Instead of you manually having to go do it yourself within projects, it will do it for you. And then on top of that, it knows everything about your business. It knows all your marketing. It knows all your sales. It's connected to all your apps. It can pull any information from you. It can build skills. It can build MCP connections. It can do everything. And that's where it turns into an AI employee. And then you can start building almost like agents, right? Which I explained earlier, which is like for me, I have these specific agents that I work with that we coined them as Claude skills just to make it simple for my community members to digest. But like I have Paige, who's my personal assistant that lives on Claude Code, that I talk to Paige and I'm like, hey Paige, can you check my email and update my Google Calendar and give me a brief on what I got coming today, right? Like something as simple as that, where I can build autonomous agents that will go and do work for me, that know everything about me because they live inside my computer and on my file system, and they're connected to all my apps. And that, my friends, is where you become, I'm not going to say God, but you become 0.001% of AI users, that you have completely unlocked the tools and you are far beyond anybody else that specifically in your space, right? I work with hundreds of business owners on a daily basis, and the people that come in and work with me are all here. And they've taken steps to learn AI. Imagine the people who have not taken the steps to actually learn the tools specifically for business. So if that's you and you feel like you want to get to this top level here and you want to learn how to use Claude, Codex, and these AI tools to help you automate 90% of your business, build AI employees and everything under the sun with AI, then click the link below. Go join my community in the description. I will help you do exactly that inside. But that's everything for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the community. Peace!